Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to said Why We're Doing a Podcast. Really special episode today as I'm joined with an old friend, um, Imi Wise, who some of you may know. And if you don't know, Imi was Mazkira, I'm gonna say 2019 to 2021.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Right. And for those who don't know, Imi lives in Tel Aviv, which is why it's a super special episode with what's going on right now. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity to have a chat with her and see what's going on. So, hi, Imi.
Oh, well, hi everyone. This is the third time we've recorded this just for everyone who's listening.
um, be great if you could tell us a bit about you and your FZY journey for those who don't know you, but I'm sure majority probably do.
So I started my FSOY journey on Israel tour in 2014 when it was Operation Protective Edge, which seems quite fitting to the current times that we're in. Since then, I did everything pretty much hadracha, led camps, everything. Didn't do year course, but it's fine because I got to live vicariously through my sister Libs, who went on year course 2 years ago, I believe. And then I did movement work for 2 years during COVID. And then as soon as I finished movement work, I made Aliyah, moved to Tel Aviv, and I've been here for the last 2 years.
You missed out that you led Israel tour.
That's true. I led Lucy Ross on possibly every single FZY thing she did, apart from, oh, what was it? Dilla? Didn't lead you on Dilla.
Yeah,
But
fun fact
everything
for
else I
everyone.
did. What?
Saying fun fact for everyone. My leader on everything.
Fun fact for everyone, Lucy was one of my first Hanukkah ever and one of my last. And now look what she's doing. She's waving that flag high. Miss Mazkira.
Huge. Yeah. Um, so obviously you said you need Aliyah, like why? Like obviously I said why, like Aliyah and Sheikh, obviously one of our aims, but for you personally, like you didn't go on year course as you said. So what like why did you make Aliyah?
Not going on year course was always one of my biggest regrets. At the time, it wasn't right for me. And then I remember like starting uni and from that one day being like, oh, I wish I had gone on year course and taken a year out. And so from that age, the want to kind of spend elongated time here, like it had been there for a long time. And then just I do you know I owe it all to FZY truthfully. I definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for FZY. Kind of instills that want and that passion to come out and live here and experience everything that Israel has to offer. So when I moved out here first, I came for a master's degree. And then I fell into a job and I just love my life out here. I love being in Israel. I love helping this country fulfill its potential. I work in intelligence, so I get to see that on a more practical scale as well. And I get to watch Israel grow and be part of that growth. And I don't think there's anywhere else I could be right now. Sounds cringe, but it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I like feel like I know that you've loved being out there and up until everything that's going on, like what's like one of your like highlights that you've experienced being in Israel? I know, like, when you speak to people and they say like Yom Kippur, like everything's quiet, people riding bikes on the highway, that kind of thing. I think there's so much our members who haven't lived there can like hear from your experience. It's like the good times living there.
I'll tell you what is special in this country. And there's two things. One is Shabbat. Every single week, we have a Shabbat dinner going on. It's all the Olim get together. Someone else hosts every week. And you meet new people and everyone has Shabbat together because your friends here turn into your family because most people who make Aliyah don't necessarily have family out here. And it's so special that that happens even if you don't know them. There's always somewhere that will host you for Shabbos, and I think that is really special. And the second thing is um, Yom Hatzma and Yom HaZikaron out here is also indescribably special. There's something very unique about being in Israel during those 2 days and having the switch over from Yom HaZikaron to Yom HaTzmaut and everyone commemorating and then jumping to everyone celebrating. It's really weird to say, and unless you experience it, that like mind shift switch, like, you can't imagine how that works, but it works, and it's special, and this entire city just, well, and country, but I can only talk from Tel Aviv, just changes. And so it's nothing like I've ever experienced before in my life, and I'll never ever forget like the Yom Ha'atzmaut and the Yom HaZikaron that I spend here, because they're just so special.
But obviously at the moment it's been really challenging times in Israel, and across the world for British diaspora Jews. How did you find the morning of the 7th of October? If, like, obviously feel free to talk.
That's the Saturday, right?
Yeah, is that the wrong day?
No, I don't. I have no idea what all the dates are like a blur to me. We're talking about Saturday morning.
I am. I question myself. Then I am like, and obviously just feel free to share, not share, whatever you feel comfortable saying from your experience.
Sure. No, I'm happy to share everything. Okay, so Saturday morning, I was staying at a friend's, and the red alert siren on our phones went off at about 6 a.m. And we were like, huh, what's happening? Like we thought we were in a period of relative calm. There hadn't been any escalation from the previous days before. There hadn't been any rockets sent over. We were all just kind of living life. We then kind of got up, woke up everyone else, like the rest of the roommates, and like this particular apartment doesn't have a bomb shelter, so we were standing in the stairway. And then we came out and we were kind of like, what is going on? And that's kind of when the news started, and then more and more sirens happened, and more news reports were coming out that Hamas had broken into the south, and they were going in and doing what they were doing. And then slowly but surely, we were getting calls that our friends and our loved ones and people closest to us were getting called in for reserves to go and help the fight. And so we were helping kind of get them ready. And then we were kind of just sat there like, what do we do right now? Like, no one knew how long it was going to be. No one really knew what had happened, because Israel's intelligence is usually spot on, and we usually thwart any of these kind of attacks. So the fact that this was allowed to happen kind of terrified everyone. And because we really didn't know much, there wasn't much that we could really go on. So it was just a lot of sitting around watching the news, not really sure how to act, what to do, where to go, whether it was safe to leave our house. Like, as I said, I wasn't at home, so I didn't have any clothes or anything like long term. So we were all kind of just sat there trying to figure out what the next steps were, and trying to support our soldiers who were going back into reserves and make sure that they were okay. And obviously, it's really scary, and it's hard when people you love and care about are being thrown into the unknown and thrown into this situation. So yeah, that was kind of memories from Saturday morning.
I suppose like something that I'm asking from what you've said is like the feelings that you and the people you were with felt like it was like nothing you've experienced in your time out there. And like, did it feel like a difference? Did it feel like a bit of this is something?
Oh yeah, the energy completely changed. And listen, I can talk forever. I am a yapper. I can yap all day, every day. But as soon as this happened, I just went silent. I couldn't say anything. I didn't have the words to describe anything. All we felt was like numbness, and we just didn't know what was going on. And I remember like writing in my family WhatsApp group being like, there's rockets, but I'm okay. Like, don't stress, like not thinking it was going to turn into what it's turned into. But it was completely different. And, Tel Aviv is such a vibrant, busy city. And we looked out the window and there was just nothing. There was no one on the streets. There was the only cars that we saw had reservists in the front and the back seats, like in their uniform. We saw like soldiers on scootering to get to the pickup points, and that was literally all you saw outside. Everyone else was inside. It was really eerie and weird, and nothing like I've ever seen before.
How do you feel now? Obviously Israel's at war and people have called up and it's very much still going on. How do you personally feel, and how do you think the people you're around are kind of coping in the situation and dealing with the situation?
So I guess like there's two sides to this. So the people that I love and care about who are fighting, you know, we barely get communication from them. We get a "I'm safe" message once a day if we're lucky. You know, just today I heard from one of them that they managed to have a shower and sleep for 4 hours, which is the most they've slept in the last 5 days, because they were in the thick of it, like called straight in, one of the first units to be called straight in, and they've just, you know, managed to get back to a base and not be on like the front line and in the field. But the morale from the army is just unbelievable. I can't explain it. I mean, I'm sure everyone's seen on social media a bunch of different videos, but they're all so strong and so positive, and their mindset is just nothing like I've ever seen before. It's just so special, the vibe out here, and everyone kind of, it's not something you get anywhere else, all people coming together to fight for the existence of their people and their state, and that kind of energy is what drives them forward. And knowing that, you know, all their loved ones that they care about are back home rooting for them, is special. From like our perspective, you know, we're kind of sat here feeling quite helpless because we're obviously we're not soldiers, we're not going to go and fight, and we're doing everything that we can. You know, I'm going out volunteering every day, I'm raising funds and doing everything that I possibly can from the comfort of my home, which seems like a luxury. And you know, it's you know, I can say that I can sleep in a bed tonight, which obviously they can't. So it's a really weird kind of up and down roller coaster of emotions every single day, because like amazing, we've done this volunteering and we've raised all this money to help these units who need these urgent life-saving equipment, but then you think about, oh, you know, my loved ones are in harm's way, I don't know if I'm going to hear from them. And then it goes back to, but look at this country that we're in and everyone's together, and the mood and the energy is so special. You don't get it anywhere else. You don't get this whole country uniting to face the challenges in front of us. You don't get that anywhere else. And that's what makes Israel so special. And that's what makes me so proud to be here during this tough time. And a lot of Olim have left. A lot of my friends have gone, which makes complete sense. You know, people are terrified, families are worried, all they want is their children or their friends back home. But for me, it was, I couldn't leave. There's no way I could leave. Like, all of these people going out there and risking their lives to fight for us and to fight for Israel. I couldn't leave. I couldn't, like, who's going to be there for them when they come back if everyone's gone? You know, what's the point in everyone fighting for this country if everyone's just going to up and leave when there's an escalation? I mean, listen, I get it. My family, who are probably maybe are listening right now, are fuming for not coming home every single day, and my friends, and I'm sorry for that, but I hope you can understand why I'm not leaving. Wait, I forgot the question. I went off on a tangent.
I don't really know why I asked you.
I'm quite incoherent. It's hard to like dictate thoughts, you know. So I apologize if this comes across quite, you know.
No, not at all. I think one thing that like comes across, and I think people who know you as well from like your time in the movement, like they know your love of Israel, and they know, and like everything you just said about being there, like it's you as a person. So I think like from all of us here, we just like obviously want you to stay safe, and like all the work you're doing is obviously amazing. But so you kind of mentioned, which I think a lot of people are feeling here, is like that feeling of helplessness. Like I know at SNY, we're trying to do as much as we can right now to support members, support the community, support Israel, and a lot of people are wondering like what can they do. And I don't know, kind of, I suppose I've got two things maybe you've got some light to shed, but is one, that feeling of helplessness, like, you know, what can people do? And also separately is, I mean, it's really upsetting times right now. Social media is horrendous in my opinion. Like it's there's a lot of sad things out there and there's a lot of bad news. I don't know if you're managing to, I mean, I hope you are, but how are you managing to kind of keep your well-being in the best place it possibly can be right now? Because I know it's something widespread people are struggling with here as well.
Okay, so in terms of the feeling of helplessness, look, the truth is really nothing that anyone can say or can do is going to stop people feeling helpless. That's the beauty of the Jewish people and the beauty of Israel, is that everyone has this collective feeling of helplessness, and that's not going to suddenly disappear. What I think is best to do during this time is really speak about it. Like I don't necessarily mean argue about it. I mean speak about it. Speak about what's going on. Speak about your feelings. Speak about your fears. Speak about your worries. Speak about it with your community. And of course, this also kind of chops into the well-being stuff, because one, it's going to help your well-being, but two, the only way that these things stop happening is if we keep speaking about it and if we educate ourselves. Until this is over, everyone's going to feel helpless. Like, that's unfortunately the sad truth. Like, yeah, I'm doing all of this volunteering, and I'm lucky that I work in intelligence, so I can get involved with the efforts there to help with things, from like a practical side as well as from a intel side. So like, I'm lucky in that respect, but that's not the case for other people. I think what I would say in terms of feeling helpless is do what you can, whatever that is, whether that's giving your time to go and donate, and pack up boxes in your hometown, whether that's going to a protest, whether that's going to a shiva house, whether that's sending a message to someone who's lost someone, whether that's checking in on your friends who live in Israel. From my perspective, I have so appreciated all of my friends and family and people from the movement who've just dropped me a message, even if I haven't spoken to them for ages. It means so much to know that people from home are thinking about you when you're like living in a war zone, right? And again, I say that living in Tel Aviv, and my situation is much better than those in the south. But that it's just doing what you can. Everyone needs to look after themselves during this time, and everyone needs to be kind to themselves and do what's in their capacity. And people shouldn't feel bad about one thing or another. Like I said earlier, people shouldn't feel bad about leaving Israel, because it's so personal. It's such a personal situation that you have to do what's right for you. You have to be selfish and you have to prioritize yourself. But when it comes to feeling hopeless from abroad, just do what you can. Listen to people, listen to your friends who are struggling, listen to your friends and family who live in Israel. Share their stories if they want you to. Educate yourselves, educate others. If people come to you and they say, I don't understand what's going on, don't get frustrated. Sit with them, be kind, be compassionate, talk about it. Don't engage in pointless social media arguments and trolls. Social media is a cesspit at the moment, and it's not worth anyone's time or emotional energy to engage in those kind of discussions. But yeah, if you can volunteer, amazing. If you can speak to, I know there's a lot of organizations pairing people to like speak to people who have lost family, unbelievable. If you can go and sit with loved ones in your home country who have lost people here and help them grieve, even better. Just do what you can, just do what's in your capacity. In terms of looking after your well-being, what have I been doing? I've been playing a lot of Rummy Cub.
Awesome.
It's like, it keeps the brain moving. It keeps you focused on something that isn't the news, because it's very easy. And like, I'm guilty of it, of just being glued to the news 24/7.
Yeah.
So playing a lot of Rummy Cub, and trying to just keep the mind and body moving and not being alone and being around people and keeping morale high and not riling each other up with worries. Just again, doing what you can. Every day is different. Every day presents new challenges, and it's just riding the emotions that come throughout the day. As I said, up and down, round, and I don't know. It's a yeah, it's a lot.
Definitely a lot going on and a lot of emotions. I do just want to say on that, like, to anyone listening, FZY members wise, like, please reach out to us. We just released our How to Cope with Your Mental Health in a Crisis. We know a lot of people, and we can put you in touch with relevant organizations and people. And yeah, please don't sit at home in silence. It's very important, and your movement team care about you. Suppose well, maybe the last thing I want to ask is to current FZY members, these are people who, similar to the people you used to know back in the day, who
You see,
care.
I'm not that old. I didn't leave the movement that long ago.
Go on, you're relevant. Cut this out. Don't no one. I don't want that going in. I called her irrelevant.
You can add the bit about me saying I'm not that old, because I think it's funny. We'll add comedic value.
Comedic value. Check. Really funny episode.
It's good to, if you don't laugh, you cry.
100%. So we have obviously a lot of members they care about Israel, they care about Judaism, they care about, and we've seen it. Like, I know I was at Had Bet this week and you were all unbelievable. Like, you inspire me so much. And what would you say to those members right now? If there's a message you could give from your position?
There's a message I could give from my position.
A big question, I know, but as ex-Mazkira, as someone living in Israel, as someone who shares a lot of the values we all share, there's a message in time. Love to hear
it. Listen, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for FZY. Again, not to be cringe, but I owe a lot of my life decisions to FZY. And I know at the time, just a little youth movement, like, doesn't mean anything, you can't do anything. But the power of youth movements is like even more relevant now. And I see it firsthand here with the youth movements on the ground in Israel and what they're doing. And just enjoy it. Enjoy being part of FZY. Take every lesson that it gives you. Get frustrated with it, challenge it, give Lucy a hard time. Because that's literally, hey, you did that to me. It's literally what it's there for you. And it will give you more than you ever thought possible. During this time, pray for everyone who is out there fighting for us. There's a load of FZY members who are out there. So pray for everyone, pray for a swift end to this conflict, and peace. Sorry, I just went off in a tangent. But yeah, look after yourself, look after your loved ones. Not to be cringe again. I feel like I've been so cringe this entire podcast, but it's a very emotional time, and hug your friends close, tell them you love them and family. And
no, I think your message is completely clear, and it's the same thing. Like, I can say the same thing. I know FZY has done so much for me. My whole connection to Israel is, because of FZY. And so I'll just say to members right now, and I've already seen it with some of you, appreciate the messages of things you want to do and things we're doing, and we're going to keep doing whatever we can to support the community here and the community in Israel.
I'll tell you what's
okay.
Oh, sorry. I'll tell you what, from my volunteering here, like all the people who are packing boxes for soldiers, for families who've been displaced in the South, everyone is a youth movement person. Every single person there is a product of a youth movement. I was going around yesterday being like, what youth movement are you from? What youth movement are you from? And we have from across the globe, Australia, South Africa, England, and everyone who is out there volunteering and being active and doing what they can is a product of a youth movement. And if that doesn't show the importance of it, I don't know what else does. I think that sums it up.
Yeah, I think that says a lot, and I also don't think it's that surprising, because of what the byproduct of like these organizations can do.
Stand up for what you believe in and do it. Be an activist. Hate that word though, because it's such an overused word, but if you believe something, go and do something about it. There you go.
Is there anything else you wanna add to that? Is that your closing message?
Anything else I want to add? I want to send my love to the movement team. You are all byproducts of me. No, I'm joking.
Cut that out. It's not going in there.
No, Jamie, keep it in. You are all byproducts of me, apart from Jamie, because Jamie is family. But you guys are killing it. I'm so proud of you all. You are exactly what this movement should be about. And keep on fighting the good fight. And yeah, I'm here for anyone. If anyone wants to talk about anything, if anyone wants to discuss in more depth what it's like being here, my messages are always open. I'm more than happy to chat with anyone. I'm here for anyone and everyone. Yeah.
I want to say, if anyone does want to reach out to Imi, drop us a message and I can put you in contact with her. I also want to say,
shout out to Libby Wise as well. Shout out to all the Wise family involved in FZY these days. Libby, Jamie, Lauren. I feel like they'd all be really angry at me if I didn't mention them.
We love FZY families. I just want to say to everyone, hopefully by the time this podcast is out, what I'm about to say is still going to be relevant. But FZY's fundraiser has launched. We are completing the Israeli National Trail, which is 620 miles. It's a lot of miles. We need our alumni, our current members, everyone to just run, walk as many miles as possible and keep donating to the page. It's all going to the UGIA's Israel at War emergency appeal. And hopefully as an FZY community, we can complete this beautiful part of nature that's in Israel. Yeah, we are also collecting letters for the soldiers. So please keep sending those to one of our emails. And also on Tuesday night, we have our FZY Family Tefillah, which is going to be a really special evening for current members and alumni to stand in solidarity with Israel and pray. So please do sign up for that. And as I said, we've got a lot more coming out to support our members educationally and emotionally. If there's anything, and I mean anything, that like we can do as FZY, please do reach out, DM this account. A lot of you have my number, so please just send me a message. And yeah, let's keep standing together and praying for peace and for everyone to be okay. So thank you so much, Imi, for joining me today. I obviously know it's a crazy time right now, and I think it's just, we really appreciate you coming on and speaking and being able to share this to our members. And yeah, to everyone else, if you need us, you know we're here.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon.